Hey, this is René, and today we will test the most expensive expert advisor on MQL5. So what you see here in the background is the MQL5 platform, which is a forum and a marketplace pretty much, all in one. And you can find different expert advisors here. And I just searched for something that I could show in my videos, maybe build an expert advisor on top of some indicator or test a expert advisor. And then I found this like crazy expensive expert advisor, which is called Little Crazy MT5. So I had to look at it. And as you can see here, it is offered for 30,000 US dollars, which is a lot. And it's hard for me to believe that any expert advisor should be worth such an amount of money. So let's have a look at this. And the good thing about the MQL5 forum and this marketplace is you can download pretty much everything as a free demo. And this is what I did. So I jumped into my MetaTrader 5 and went to the market in the navigator, and then you can click buy from the market. And then you can search for pretty much any expert advisor you like. For example, here, just add Little Crazy. And you will find it, and then you can click on test or download demo. And once you did this, you are not able to use it in a live trading account, of course, because it is a demo version, but you are able to use it in the strategy tester. And this is pretty much what I did. So here in the strategy tester, you can see this expert advisor has nearly no inputs. So yeah, we can just run it pretty much because there's nothing really we have to change in the settings. And we can just click on start and see where it takes us. So this expert advisor, once it is loaded, you will see it shows on the left side, it shows a little like dashboard which has some key figures. This is nothing too crazy. These are just objects pretty much. So if you have a look at the object list, you can see these are just a bunch of objects that are updated. So we can see some information here. It says my account leverage is not high enough. We will talk about this later on. And it says the currency, it chooses some currency and says something about base lots. I think these things are calculated as a percentage of your account pretty much. This is why you can have like a really good equity curve. We will have a look at this later on, and then we will put everything into perspective and see if it is like, if the results are valid, and if I would recommend to use this expert advisor or such a strategy in a live trading account. And the good thing is, even though we do not know anything about the source code, the tester will give us a lot of information. And this is pretty much, there are some concepts in trading that you can read from the equity curve. So here we can see there is no trade done right now because it says Christmas and New Year's holidays. So we will have to wait a little bit for the first trade to be opened, and then I will let the test finish, and then we will have a look at the results. So there's no result yet. Oh, and if you close or minimize this strategy tester window, the test is a little bit faster. That's a little trick that you can do. So let me wait for the first trades here. Okay, so here it is. We saw the first trades, and we do not see it in the Euro-US dollar chart that I opened right now, but we can see it in the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar chart, and in the New Zealand dollar, Canada dollar, and Australian dollar, Canada dollar, because these are the markets that this expert advisor will trade, I think. So what we see here, first of all, we saw 3 trades in the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, and there are also some indicator window opens which have the standard deviation. So we can already assume that this expert advisor works with this indicator and that it uses this indicator with multiple settings or multiple different settings. This is what we can see from these small windows here. Also, what we can see in the main window here, wait, let me try to drag and drop this somewhere else. In the main window, we can also see some lines, and these are, looks like moving averages. Yes, the Expert Advisor also seems to use some moving averages. Also, what we can see, the take profit is adjusted several times here. So there is some mechanism that moves the take profit around. And yeah, there's for now nothing more really that we can see. But there's one thing that is kind of important. All of these trades are opened after the first trade went into like a losing area. So the first trade was the lowest, then there was a trade opened a little bit higher, and one more trade which was also opened a little bit higher. So this is typical for some sort of grid system, but I mean right now we cannot really say more about it here. So let me speed it up a little bit and wait until something happens. So you can see there were some more trades. Both of these two trades here were opened when the first trades were in a loss. And there were two trades opened. And what we can see here is like the fifth of these trades had a higher lot size. So we can assume that this Expert Advisor will at some point increase the lot size. And since this happened when the previous positions were losing, it pretty much means that we are increasing the lot size if we are losing, so in loss. And this is a typical mechanism or tool that you can use to, it's a fast way to get out of a drawdown, to just increase like the lot size. So let's wait. We can see what we saw before. The take profit is modified several times. I mean, we cannot really see like the exact algorithm that is behind it because we do not see the source code, but yeah, we know what happened at least. So here we saw in general, or after all, we made a profit of around 100 euro, and we had a drawdown in between of like 300 euro. So we have this blue line, which is the account balance. And then we have this green line, which is the equity. So the equity also takes into account the open positions. This is why we will often see that the equity is below the account balance, because this means your open positions are in a losing spot right now. And then, yeah, we often see like these big recovery moves of the equity, and then the account balance also increases, which means that there were some positions closed in profit. And until now, we did not see that any position was closed in with a loss. And if we have a look at the history, we can see one more thing. This Expert Advisor seems to trade without a fixed stop loss, which means pretty much that the positions might be in the losing area for a while or for a long time, but they are not closed with a loss because there is no stop loss. There's no fixed stop loss. And this is also a mechanism that you can use in your programs, which will pretty much guarantee that you never really make a loss. And there's one big downside to systems like this, and we will see it later on if we speed up the test a little bit more. So now we saw some trading examples, and again, this is pretty much like what we saw before. We always open a small lot size, and I think once we opened like 5 trades, the lot size is increasing. So let me speed up the test a little bit, and then we will talk when we saw a little bit more here. So now we saw a little bit more of the test, and let me slow it down here a little bit. So we saw some things here. This was a like really interesting part, here you can see that the equity was way below the account balance. And so this means that there was a huge drawdown, but it was not like realized. So no position was closed, but there was a huge drawdown. And if we have a look at the trades, we should figure out when this was. This was around like March 2022. Oh, and right now I'm only testing for the current year, by the way. So March 2022, this was January, February, March, somewhere here. So yes, what we saw here is there were a lot of trades open. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 positions in total were opened. And in the meantime, no trade was closed. So I assume that these trades were not like going too well, and this is why they were not closed, right? So yeah, these trades were taken in New Zealand dollar, Canada dollar, like the currency pair, and Australian dollar, Canada dollar. And this is like the same what we saw before. The trades are always opened if the previous trade is currently losing. And also, like at some point, we will see that the lot size increases, and it will increase even more if the trade is, or if the bunch of trades is losing more. So yeah, sometimes at some point, the lot size is increasing. And this, of course, means that if the market or the price turns around and goes into the direction that these trades were taken, of course, you will be in the profitable area like really fast. But this comes with at a great risk. So you can see here, like in the meanwhile, we lost, or we had a drawdown of around, I don't know, 60, 70% here, which is a lot. And this is like the big risk. And in this case, everything went well pretty much. But what if the price would go up even more? And I mean, you can never be sure that at some point the price will fall. The price could go up for a week or so if you just take one false direction. And if you are always increasing the position size, this is like a big risk. And yeah, so let's speed up the test a little bit. Let's wait until this the current year is finished and we see the final result. Okay, so what we see here is the test is now finished. We made a really good profit in the tested period. So let's have a look at like the trading. And I think what we can see here is, of course, this Expert Advisor works with a lot size that is dependent on the account size. So the more money you have in your account, the bigger the lot size is. So in the beginning, we started with 0.41 lots, for example. In the end, we started a series of trades with around 0.9 lots. Still, the system is the same, of course, in the beginning and in the end. We start with a moderate, low, whatever lot size, and then we increase this lot size as soon as the trades start to go into the like negative area where they are losing. And this is like a classical martingale or grid system where you increase the lot size with multiple positions if you are losing. So these are not like very special concepts, and there's nothing like that has nothing to do with a crazy algorithm, I think. These are like basic trading principles. And the thing is, as long as you do not see situations like here where you have a really big drawdown, and as long as these situations do not get like too scary, the system will work well. But once a drawdown like this is too big, it will close all your positions and will crash your account. So this is like a really, really, really risky expert advisor. And I mean, I looked into the description of this program, and the developer or the salesperson here, it is giving us a hint that this is a really aggressive and risky expert advisor. And I think it is good that it is declared here like it is. And it also says the maximum drawdown is about 90% or more. And by or more, he means that it might crash your account. So in the end, this is like just a really, really, really risky expert advisor. And this is what I always like to tell you on this channel. It is not really hard to receive a equity like this. I mean, I can build an expert advisor like this in, give me 1 or 2 days. It's no problem for anyone who can code, I think. But the problem is, I mean, you can make it look perfect in the history, like with historical data, and you can make the perfect like backtest, but you never know what comes in the future. And it might be that in 1 year or in 2 years or in 3 years, there is this specific event that crashes your account. And there's a really high probability that this event will happen. And you never know when it happens. And of course, you could say that you trade this expert advisor for 1 year or for 2, and then you take all your money out of the expert advisor, so you pretty much have no risk anymore. This is still a valid strategy, but still you have the risk, like what happens if this event happens in the first year? I mean, it's never like risk-free, and this is like the most important lesson I want to tell you here. So after all, what can I say about this expert advisor? Do I think it's a good expert advisor, or do I think it's a bad expert advisor? Is it worth the money? I think it is a martingale good expert advisor. It's high risk, it's high reward. You can make good profits. Of course, if you are unlucky, you will lose all the money in your account. This is like what you can say for every system that is built like this, pretty much. I mean, I do not know the exact algorithm, and it might be like really tricky, and the developer might work on it for a week or 2, I don't know, maybe a month, but in the end, it's not really worth $30,000 US. This is something that everyone who is able to program can program pretty much. I would suggest, or I would recommend, instead of spending $30,000 US on a black box where you do not know what this program does in detail, you do not have the code, I would recommend spending the money on something that will really make you benefit in the long run. For example, buy a programming course, learn programming, and I guarantee you, if you are willing to learn programming for a month or 2 or 3 months, you will be able to write a program like this. This is the programming behind such a system is not really complex. And it is not really like the one specific indicator that makes a performance like this. It's not about like some special magic trick. Most of the performance really comes from this principle where you take a high risk and then get a high reward, or expect a high reward, but it's always at a high risk. So yeah, maybe I can, like in the next days or in the next, maybe in the future, I can make a program like this on this channel where I can show you like the some of these principles, like working with a martingale grid system and increasing the lot size, like based on your account balance, which will pretty much guarantee that you will receive a curve like this. But these are my thoughts on a program like this. I think it might work for a year or 2, or maybe a longer period, but at some point it will crash your account probably. So I think it's not really worth the money, but do whatever you like. I can say nothing bad really about the system. The programmer or the salesperson talked about the risks, and this is what I always want to see if somebody is selling such a system. But if you are willing to take this risk, and if it's okay for you, you can of course run a system like this. Still, I don't really think like the idea is worth $30,000 US. So this is it. These are my thoughts on the system. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And yeah, this is it for the video. Have a great time. Good trades. Bye bye.